guys, it's Kendra from Crafty Kendra, and today we're going to make this card. And this card uses the stamp sets Valentine Defined and Something to Celebrate, and these are both from the Occasions mini right now, so they'll be gone come April 30th. This is a set that you can purchase, and this is actually one of the hostess benefits in the Occasions mini. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is bring in a 4" by 2 5/8 piece of Certainly Celery. We're going to take the Happy Anniversary stamp from the Something to Celebrate stamp set, and using our Stamp-A-Majig and a piece of vellum, we're going to stamp that greeting in soft suede on the bottom right of our piece of Certainly Celery. Okay, then what we're going to do is set that aside. Going to bring in a 1 3/4 by 3" piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. We're going to bring in the stems and hearts stamp from the Valentine Defined stamp set, Ink It Up in soft suede. Then we're just going to center it onto this piece of Very Vanilla and stamp it. Okay. Then we're going to grab our sponge dauber and sponge the edges of our Very Vanilla piece. And whenever we're done sponging these edges, we're going to bring in our cutter kit. And this is our cutter kit. And we're going to be using the distressing tool. And every groove on the distressing tool is the same. And what we're going to do is just pull it along the side of this piece that we just distressed. And what we're doing with this is we're just roughing up the edges. Okay. And when we're done doing that, we're going to bring in another piece of Certainly Celery, and this piece measures 2" by 3 1/4, and I've already taken the distressing tool and distressed its edges. And I've also distressed the edges of a 2 1/4 by a 3 1/2 piece of Tempting Turquoise, and we're just gonna put some snail on the back of the distressed piece of Certainly Celery and center it onto this piece of Tempting Turquoise. And do the same thing with our Very Vanilla that we have stamped. Then we're going to set it aside and bring back in that piece of Certainly Celery that we stamped our greeting on. And we're going to distress the edges of this, but we're only going to distress these 3 sides. Okay. Move the little bits of extra paper and set that aside. Gonna bring in a 4" by 2 5/8 piece of soft suede, and I've taken the soft suede and I've crumpled it in my hands to make it really look kind of like leather. And then I took and I sprayed it. I hope you guys can see the sparkle. I sprayed it with my mixture of shimmer paint and rubbing alcohol. And what we're going to do is take these two pieces and adhere them together with a 6-inch piece of very vanilla satin ribbon. We're just going to run some snail along the back side of this satin ribbon. Put it at the top of our certainly celery piece so that we have some of the ribbon overhanging. And the part that's overhanging, we're going to take and flip, so the sparkly side of our soft suede is on the back. We're going to flip it and put it to the down. And we're just going to line up the edges and then stretch that piece of soft suede, because they are the same size. It's just that since we crumpled it up, it's shrank up a little bit, so you just got to flatten it out. Take the tails and pull them towards the back, and there we go. Now what you're going to do is take and put snail on the back of that, and whenever you put the snail on your piece of soft suede, some of the cardstock might rip up, so just go slow, because since we've already worked the cardstock, it's going to easily fall apart if you go too fast. So just take your time putting your snail on it. And we're going to take that and adhere it to our card base, which is Tempting Turquoise, and it measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Just going to put it onto our card base. And press it down. Then what we're going to do is bring in a 3-inch piece of that very vanilla satin ribbon. Just put a little strip of snail on one end. Bring the ends together to make a loop. Going to take 2 mini glue dots and put them towards the end of that loop, the end that's adhered together. Gonna line that up with our ribbon that's on the card. Position our stamped image of the hearts where we want it, that's layered. So then we get that stuck exactly where we want it. Flip it over and we're gonna add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of it. One in each corner and then one in the middle for good measure. Remove the backing. And then adhere this down so that our little ribbon loop lines up with the ribbon that's on our card. And for the inside, we're going to have a 4-inch by 5 1/4-inch piece of very vanilla. And I'm going to take that heart stamp with the stems again and just stamp it towards the bottom. And you just need a little bit of it. Then I'm going to bring in our sponge dauber and sponge the edges. And whenever I'm done sponging the edges, I'm going to flip it over and add some snail and put it on the inside of our card. And there we go, we're done. So don't rule out Valentine's sets just because they say they're for Valentine's Day. You can use them for lots of different things. And that's all I have for you guys. Thanks.